This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. Not everyone is careful with your personal information, which might explain why there's a victim of identity theft every 5 seconds in the US. Fortunately, there's LifeLock. LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats to your identity. If your identity is stolen, a US-based restoration specialist will fix it, guaranteed, or your money back. Save up to 40% your first year by visiting lifelock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
Alright, what's up guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss Show. And in today's episode, I wanted to send out a message to Ubisoft and talking about some of their games, because there's a couple of games I've been playing of theirs recently where, and you know what, let me just say this much. I like Ubisoft's games, alright? Don't get me wrong. Ubisoft be coming out with some good games because it's games. There's games that come out where it doesn't, itch that part in me where I'm like, fam, I wish they had a game like this. I wish they had a game like that. I wish that there were these things to do in this video game or that to do in this game. And that's the thing about Ubisoft is that they come out with games where I'm like, you play them for the first time and it's like, whoa, wait a minute. Like, I wasn't expecting the game to be this good, And one game I can think of in particular where it's like I put so many hours into the first one and the second one is the Division series, And that's a game where I'm like, man, it doesn't matter what Division game is going to come out. I just know that I'm going to be playing it. As a matter of fact, hold on for a second, because I know they did say they were going to come out with a mobile version of the Division, but I feel like they've been teasing it more than, actually trying to work on releasing it and stuff. But, it could be out. I don't know. I never, sat down, taking the time to look it up and things, but nope, game is not out yet. And that's just something where I'm like, fam, you guys had all this time to be coming out with this game. It's like, what's going on? What's happening? Hopefully they didn't cancel the game. That would be crazy if they canceled that game. I know they did cancel that one that was I can't remember. I think it was supposed to take place like in a small town or something like that. But yeah, anyways, and then on top of that too, like they are working on, I guess, some stuff for the Division 2, like they are coming out with an expansion, and I'm like, man, at times like the Division, it can be fun, but so the other day I'm playing the game, right? Now this is the issues that I have with the game. The other day I'm playing the game, and for some odd reason, you would think that, okay, you're being attacked by enemies doing whatever. Overall, they're shooting at you or trying to set you on fire. Or there's something, an enemy running towards you and stuff. My thing is this, on some real life stuff, if you know that you're being shot at, but you have a way to escape, you have a way to get up out of there and stuff, are you going to sit there and allow whatever it is to kill you and just for some reason get stuck on an unstuckable wall? Or you gonna try to run and get somewhere? Because last I checked, when most people, when they get shot at, they try to get somewhere. They don't just sit against the wall and be all like, oh, I can't move unless this button is pressed or unless this is done. My thing is this. I am moving the analog stick. Bro, just get up and run. Why is there a delay with running? That's what I would like to know. Why is there a delay with running? And so, yeah, I'm playing the one where it's like you're going through this big giant skyrise. And then they threw like a flamethrower, like one of them turret flamethrowers near me, and it's setting me on fire. So I'm like, and then there's an enemy also running in, and he's shooting at me. And I'm like, okay, let me get up and move. For some odd reason, my character wasn't moving. Now, what I'm trying to figure out is, why is that even programmed in the game? To where it's like, wait, am I being attacked? Or if I'm being attacked, like, oh, you're gonna have to accept the fact that you're being attacked. That's the thing. I'm like, Ubisoft, I don't know how you guys overall process like combat of some sorts, but this is just my question to Ubisoft. What would you guys do in that scenario? Are you just gonna sit there and just allow yourself to get killed, or are you gonna try to get somewhere, I guess, that's further away from the turret and the guy that's running at you with a whole assault rifle? That's what I would like, or a pistol, shotgun, whatever he had. But I'm just thinking to myself, like, that's a question that I would love to ask the developers of Ubisoft, or the people behind the Division. What would you overall do in that situation? I'm like, man, at times it's just they do things in their games where I'm like, that just don't make no sense. Or they'll have missions where it requires multiple people to do the mission. And I'm like, bro, I'm just trying to play this game by myself. I'm not trying to have it where I'm like, oh, I got to constantly invite people. That you would think that would be the one thing that they would have added in that game a long time ago is NPC teammates. So at least then you ain't got to worry about, oh, let me invite this friend, I have to say that's one thing that I always experience when playing the Division. And I'm like, man, I think I might end up making that into a video where I'm like, nah, you guys need to work on that. You need to do something about that. Cause I'm like, that just to me, to have it where every time when I play this game, I'm constantly getting an in-game message of some random person playing the game asking me to help them out. And my thing is this. I don't play the game with random people, but at times I have sat down and thought about it. I'm like, maybe I should help this person out. Maybe I should. But that's another thing where it's like when I'm doing missions, and it's a mission where it's like, oh, you gotta play it on the highest difficulty to get this weapon, and then you still don't get it. I'm like, fam, how is that? Like, there is the one light machine gun where it's like when you go to like when you play the Division 2, and then you go to that the Division's 2 version of New York, there's these 2 missions where I guess like if you do them on the highest difficulty with like challenges added onto it and stuff, it's a possibility that you may get this light machine gun, but it is a super low possibility. To the point where I'm like, fam, I have played them 2 missions back to back over and over and over again. Like I'm trying to think, I can't remember if I was doing it on streams or if I was just doing it like in videos or whatever. But my thing is this, I played these 2 missions so many times and got nothing. And that's the part that I'm trying to figure out and understand. I'm like, isn't it like the traditional way of gaming? Like, okay, if you play it on the easiest difficulty, then it's like you just gonna get the stuff that's good for that difficulty. But if you play it on the harder difficulty, you're gonna get better weapons. Fam, when I was playing them 2 missions back to back, I was pretty much just getting the same gear over and over again. Like, there wasn't nothing changed or done, or I wasn't getting that light machine gun where it's like, it's a light machine gun where it's like, it never reloads. Like, you can continuously keep shooting it and it never reloads. And I'm trying to I'm playing this game like day and night, just trying to get that particular gun. And I'm like, fam, I'm wasting my time, because they said, I remember seeing it somewhere, they said it is a 1% chance of you getting that gun. My thing is this, right? So you would think, okay, you guys have like this area in the game where you can craft weapons, and and I've seen this in other games like Warframe, for an example. If you get the material to make the gun, why not just have that as an option? And my thing is this, it seemed like it will be a lot easier to collect the material. Like, let's say, for an example, if I need like 1,000 pieces of metal, I need 1,000 pieces of plastic, I need, to like go in this area and find this ammo, do this, do that. Why not just have it where it's set up that way? Rather than it's like, I gotta play, the same mission over and over again just to build up to a 50% chance. I gotta play them 2 missions back to back 50 times to just get a 50% chance of I guess getting a weapon. Fam, I don't have that type of time. Do you not? My thing is this, and this is just talking to Ubisoft. Do you not understand that there are literally millions of games that are out right now? So there's going to be a game that's going to catch my attention, and it's going to, overall, I'm going to have a better experience playing that game than I am your game, because at least with that game, they're giving me the equipment that I want. And they on some stuff where it's like, oh, I got to play this mission 100 million times just to go and get this weapon. No, I can play another game, do a mission where it's like, yeah, it might not be a gun like that, but it might be like some iconic gun, like Destiny, for an example. Destiny, that was one thing where I'm all like, they was never done in Destiny, was when they had it where it's like, okay, if there's these weapons, because I'm saying, like, there's at times where I was playing that game by myself, and I remember my friend pointing it out where it's like I could just be playing that game and just get some crazy weapons. So at least then it was like, it was always a different thing with Destiny, I guess, up until you got to a high enough level, and then eventually then they will have it set up where you wasn't really getting, unless you played like the Nightfalls or the raids and stuff, but other than that, it was like, I remember getting the Soros regime. Where are some other weapons in there? What was that one? It's like the Gallonhorn or something. Like, it was a rocket launcher, but it was like some like pulse rifles and scout rifles that they had, where it was like, iconic weapons in the game, but you could just be playing that game and just randomly get that weapon. It wasn't like you had to play these 2 missions back to back. Like, no, you could just, I don't know how many times I remember back in the day when playing that game, and I just get like, I'll just say to the one friend that was, he was like more into the game than I was, but he would never gain things good. And I don't know how many times I'm like, oh, I just got this weapon. Bro would be so upset because he's like, fam, I have been playing this game for hours and I've got nothing. Here it is. You just started playing the game and you're getting weapons in here that it's like, bro, it seems like it would take a person a long period of time. But I'm like, that's the one thing that I would have to say that I liked more about Destiny was that it was a game meant for everybody. The Division, on the other hand, it seems like it's a game. Yes, it is. I had to say some aspects of the game is meant for everybody, but if you really want to get like the best of the best weapons, the best of the best gear, you have to play this game with people. So that leads me right back to the original question that I asked you guys: why haven't you added NPC teammates? Because that's the thing where I think that it's like they're thinking along the lines, oh, everybody that plays this game, they're gonna have a group of friends to be playing the game with. No. I have to say, like, there is one friend that thought about buying the Division, but other than that, I'm the only one in my friend group that plays the Division, that played both the Division 1 and 2. I do not have no other friends that's playing that game. And that's the thing where I'm like, I don't want to be hassling random people across the world like, oh, hey, can you help me with this mission? Can you help me with that mission? Can you do this? Can you do that? Like, and pretty much just, them taking the amount of damage. And what was crazy was that there was even at times where it's like still, even with people, we still had to do the mission over and over again. So that's why I'm like, man, it's like you guys, and that's another thing that I noticed. I feel like that's just a Ubisoft thing where they just want to make the game difficult for no reason. Because another game that I can think of is Skull and Bones. And I'm like, there's 3 games I'm going to be talking about with Ubisoft. It's Skull and Bones, and then the next one is Riders Republic. Now, it ain't so much as I'm having, like, gameplay issues with Riders Republic, although I'll have to say, like, it's the money that they're asking for with that game that's much more of a problem than the gameplay. Like, I can get past the gameplay. It seems like, yeah, after you get some good gear, then it's like it gets a little bit better. But now let's talk on Skull and Bones real quick. So for those that don't know what Skull and Bones is, because the Division, for those that don't know what that is, that's a part of the Tom Clancy like lineup of games. So they just pretty much have you playing as like some soldier going around killing a bunch of bad guys and stuff. Ain't no different than any other Tom Clancy game that came out. It's just different settings. But then Skull and Bones, it's a pirate game. So they have you playing as a pirate out in the middle of the ocean, fighting all these different enemies and stuff from other pirate ships. I think it's like some law enforcement type people in the game, and then some sea monsters. All right, cool. Here's the problem though. They'll have you, and that's the one thing that I did that I had to say that the Division does somewhat all right, is that they'll have it where you're going up against the same leveled enemies in the world that you're in and stuff. Or, well, I mean, in the Division, they'll have it where it's like, okay, if you're a level 10, you're going to be going up against other level 10 enemies in that particular area. But if you start going, I guess, like a little bit further out, then yeah, then that's when you might go up against some high leveled enemies. I ain't got no issues with that, because I'm like, okay, I know that I need to just stay within this area and wait until I level up and then go to the next area. Not Skull and Bones. I played that game some time ago when it came out, gave up on it, recently got back into it, and that was the issue that I was having with that game. So I was like maybe a level 2, 3 or whatever when I had got back into playing the game. Having it where there's like level 8 and 14 enemies chasing after me, just, I guess, trying to take me out or whatever. I don't know if it was like a bounty on my character's head or what, but I'm like, because I had just got into, I don't think they have like no stuff like that. But anyways, but yeah, I'm just out here getting attacked and I'm like, fam, I'm not even a high enough level to go up against that ship. Like, what's up with that? And then it's like they have it where there's missions on there where you have to be a high enough level to do those missions. Why not just have it where wherever level I am, that's those are the missions that are listed out for me, and that's available for me to do, rather than having it where it's like, oh, well, even though you're a level 8, we're gonna set it up to where you could do this level 13 mission. But if you can't do it, you can always invite people. Why? My thing is this: why is that the narrative with video games nowadays? Like, every video game has to have like some co-op settings. It can't just be a single player experience. Or I guess for those out there that just want an overall single player experience, we can't have that. we got to play the game with people left and right. And I'm like, bro, I'm getting so sick and tired of these co-op games. It's co-op games, extraction shooters, and it just seems like those are the only two games that really be coming out where it's like, oh, we're going to add like a single player option. We're going to add a solo option, but we ain't going to fool around with that. We going to fool around with the co-op options because that's, I don't know if it's like, it's better, I guess, on paper for them, where it's like, okay, well, if we tell this to the higher ups, like, oh yeah, we've seen a lot of people playing, it's like, yeah, it's probably that one person that's really into the game, but the other friends just jump in because they're all like, oh, well, our friend wants us to go out and get the game, and it's a new game for us to play. But I guarantee and I promise you, if you look at a friend group, yeah, there's probably some friend groups out there where they all just play the same game and they ain't got no, like, they're looking forward to going out and buying that game. I guarantee and I promise you, though, everybody that's played Skull and Bones has at least one, or if it's just because, I don't know, I know with me, it's like I have multiple friend groups. Like, I have at least like 3 friend groups that I'll play the game with and stuff. But I'm like, and with each of them friend groups, they never mention Skull and Bones to me. Even with me playing the game recently, still, none of them has had the idea of, oh, let me go out and play this or buy this game, Skull and Bones. You know, and that's one thing that I do like about, you know, I might have my issues with EA games, but that's the one thing that I do like about their 2 games, It Takes Two and Split Fiction, I think, is that they have like this free game pass where it's like, you can download the game, you don't own it, but you can play the game with your friend for free. So I'm like, why not have it where it's set up like that, where it's like, okay, we know that everybody's not going to jump out and buy this game, so how about this? We have it where we just give away a copy when you buy. So if you buy Skull and Bones, you get another copy for free to give out to one of your friends. Why not have it set up like that? That just seems like I feel like that would get more people to buy the game. I mean, because you guys be having it where it's like you be selling the game after a while, you be like downgrading the price. Having it where The Crew 2 was like $1 at one point in time. And this is how much is that game? Hold on for a second. Let me see how much The Crew 2 costs. Because that was a game where I was like, I was not expecting that game to go on sale like that. And that's a Ubisoft game. But yeah, that game is $29.99. And you guys were selling that game for $1 at one point in time. And I think that was because of that whole Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown stuff. But anyways, but I feel like that's a prime example of to showcase and tell you guys that's why you need to have it where there are single player options in the game rather than, oh, let's just have it where it's like it's just gonna be multiplayer only and you ain't gonna be able to play the game offline or by yourself. You are gonna have to play the game with people, fam. Everybody's not gonna be with that. And Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown should be an example of why. That was the number one thing people was asking for. And so guess what they ended up doing? They ended up adding an offline mode or have it where you can actually play the game by yourself. I mean, yeah, they do have it where you're in some like online server, but as far as the races, you can play those races by yourself. And then they also have it where it's like the mission difficulty isn't on the difficulty that you guys want for us. It's on the difficulty that they want to play as. So that's why I'm like, man, you know, at times it just seemed like developers, they don't even be wanting to listen to the fans. And at Ubisoft, I'm like, you guys is right there on that list. Because getting to the next game, Riders Republic. I feel like I might have said something else when I was mentioning the 3 games. If I didn't say Riders Republic, I meant to say Riders Republic. But anyways, yeah, Riders Republic. So that was a game that I also started off playing, didn't really get into it first time around, but then recently got back into it, was having fun up until I had was realized that I went out and bought this year 1 pass, or no, that's what it was. It was the complete edition. I went out and I bought the complete edition thinking I get everything that's in the game, right? I buy the complete edition, it's only the year 1 stuff, but they got year 2, year 3, year 4, and I'm thinking to myself, why would you guys advertise it that way where you say it's the complete edition? You're thinking that you're buying everything's in the game that's available, not just 1 year of the content that's available in the game. Why would you guys have it set up like that? See, that's what I'm saying. Like with Ubisoft, it's like I got a love-hate relationship with them because you guys put out good games. It's just the way that you go about the games and how you guys developed and do all these different things. It is so wrong, bro. It is so off and wrong. And I'm like, fam, I don't get how it's like you guys can be in business for so long and just be so out of tune with what the fans want. Like, there's at times where you guys do good things. Don't get me wrong, you guys do good things. The Crew Motorfest, good game. Crew 2, good game. The Division series, good game. Rainbow Six series, good like games, all that stuff. What are some other games? Yeah, Skull and Bones, Riders Republic, good games. It's just how you go about executing the future with those games all off. And that's one thing that I will never understand, is that how can you guys put out so many good games, but you just mess them up? That's what I would like to know. So I'm like, man, Ubisoft, please get in tune with your fans. Get in tune with your fan base. I'm saying, I feel like you guys is hanging on by a thread right now. Because I'm telling you, it's going to be in a matter of time. Because no, they were already facing controversy for having it where they shut down the Crew 1, because they're all like, oh, well, you guys don't really own your games. We're just having it where you buy these games and you don't get your money back. My thing is this: if that's the case, then it's either the content in the game or we need to be getting the game for free. If not, both. Because I'm like, that to me, that just doesn't even make any sense. We own the game. We go out of our way to buy the game. Like, there's probably people that had that game on disc, right? You go out and you buy the game just to have it where the game shuts down on you and you can't even play it no more. And there is a campaign, there is a story in that game. My question is what was the reason of even shutting down? Let me just see what was the reason real quick, because I'm like, I feel like what was the reason for Ubisoft shutting down the Crew 1? Let's see what happens or what pops up. Generating. Ubisoft stated that the Crew 1 was shut down due to server infrastructure and licensing constraints. Here's a breakdown of the reason why. Server infrastructure. Maintaining servers for older games can be costly, especially with a declining player base. So just make the game offline. So it's like you don't have to worry about no online stuff. But anyways, as game ages, the cost of upkeep, power and cooling, and hardware maintenance can become a significant financial burden. Because whatchamacallit, Forza. So no, the crazy thing about it is that you can play Forza Motorsports 1 through 7. You can play Forza Horizon 1 through 4. And they ain't shut down no servers. You can play all of those games, fam. I have every single Forza game to come out. I have Forza Motorsports 1 through 7 and the new one. I mean, if you want to include the new one, then okay. But then I have all the Forza Horizons. And I'm able to play all of these games. So that's why I'm like, fam, you guys know that online stuff needs to stop. That's why you guys are having to go through stuff like that. But anyways, then licensing issues. The game potentially included licensed music or vehicles, which may have had time-limited licensing agreements that were difficult or expensive to renew. Fam, there are games that I have a bunch of different PlayStation 2, because last year I discovered this retro game store, and they have like all these like old games from like NBA Street Volume 2. What are some other games? But just like games back then that had like a lot of different licensed music in the game. Even Need for Speed Most Wanted, the original Need for Speed Most Wanted. But Def Jam Fight for New York. What else? Def Jam Icon. But I'm saying those are the things though about those games, was that they didn't make them games online only. Yeah, they had online features. Now, if you're shutting that down where it's like the online servers, then okay, I ain't got no issues with that. But as far as like the story stuff, the campaign, the single player content, what's the reason of shutting that down? That's what I would like to know. Like, to me, it's stuff like that that just don't make no sense. So I'm like, Ubisoft, like, you guys, here's the thing. You guys got on people's good graces with this Assassin's Creed Shadows game. Like, that was one game where I'm like, yo, you guys did good with that. But when is it going to be in a matter of time before that game starts upsetting people? You guys then did something with that game, and it's like, oh, well, now we're going to have it where that game shuts down. And because we don't, I guess, quote unquote, own that game too. It's like, man, come on now. Y'all got to do better than that. You really do. But anyways, with that being said, I will talk to y'all later. Thank you guys for watching and or listening. Stay tuned for the next episode. Like, subscribe, viewing this on YouTube. Follow, subscribe, viewing this on the podcast streaming service. And peace.